What if your every thought and action wasn't private, but under constant surveillance? What if the very language you speak could be weaponized to control your mind? Today, we're decoding George Orwell's masterwork of psychological warfare. 1984. This isn't science fiction. It's a blueprint for how power manipulates truth, rewrites history, and crushes individual will. By the end of this 20-minute episode, you won't just understand the warning. You'll have the tools to resist it. Stick around for our exclusive knowledge check, a rapid-fire quiz engineered to lock these critical insights into your mind and amplify your mental defenses. And stay tuned for a shocking surprise that will change the way you read every headline, every social feed, every policy announcement. This is more than a book discussion. It's your freedom briefing. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, well, we're not just skimming summaries. We're really taking your sources and cracking them open.
Yeah, getting right to the essence of power, control, and how people resist.
Exactly. Think of it like a masterclass on these ideas, pulled from some, well, pretty intense fictional worlds.
Yeah.
Our goal here is to look past the plot summaries, to really understand the mechanics, how control works in these stories, and what resistance actually looks like.
Spot on. We've got two heavy hitters today. George Orwell's 1984, which everyone knows, right?
A classic.
And Alexander Merrill's Prey World series. Now, both are fiction, yes, but they act like these incredible thought experiments, really digging into societies under extreme control.
They offer some potent social commentary for sure.
So you want the deep insights, you want to really get it, but maybe without reading hundreds and hundreds of pages or feeling overwhelmed.
That's the plan.
That's exactly what we're here for. We'll unpack the complex stuff, make it accessible. Okay, let's dive in.
Right. Let's start with the architecture of control in 1984. Orwell paints this picture of Oceania, right? And it's run by these four ministries.
And the names are just brilliant in a dark way. Total opposites of what they do.
Exactly, that constant contradiction. You've got the Ministry of Truth, Minute True.
Which pumps out propaganda and rewrites history.
Then the Ministry of Peace, Minipax, which, runs the wars.
And Ministry of Plenty, Mini-Plenty, managing shortages, basically.
And the real kicker, the Ministry of Love, Mini-Love.
Which sounds nice, but it's the opposite. It's the fear machine. Law and order through terror.
Yeah, Mini-Love is fascinating. Orwell describes it as this, fortress. No windows, totally secure, and the fear it inspires.
You feel it through Winston, don't you?
Yeah.
It shows how much the party relies on pure intimidation.
Absolutely. And then there are the telescreens.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere. Not just blasting propaganda at you.
No, they're watching you, two-way, constantly.
So, private space.
Yeah.
Gone. Just this relentless reminder, Big Brother is watching.
And that ties right into controlling information. That's Winston's job, isn't it, at the Ministry of Truth?
Minute True, yeah. His whole day is just rewriting the past, making it fit whatever the party says today.
Talk about job insecurity. He's throwing history down these memory holes. It's literally disappearing.
And the past keeps changing. Like the enemies in the war, one day it's Eurasia, the next it's Eastasia.
And the party line is, we've always been at war with Eastasia. Or Eurasia, whoever the current enemy is.
It's a complete fabrication, and everyone's just supposed to accept it, believe it.
And the psychology behind that. Look at the 2 minutes hate.
Right, that daily ritual.
Everyone's screaming at Goldstein, the enemy figure. It's this manufactured outrage, channeling all that emotion.
Such an efficient way to create unity, right? Through shared hate.
Yep.
Even O'Brien, inner party member, gets swept up.
Yeah, he's shouting along. Makes you wonder, is it real for them too, or just part of the performance?
Good question. And controlling emotion is one thing, but they go deeper.
To thought itself, with Newspeak.
This stripped-down language. The idea being, if you kill the words.
You kill the ideas. Unorthodox thought becomes, well, literally unthinkable.
Like the word free. In Newspeak, it only means the dog is free from lice.
Yeah, the whole concept of personal freedom, political freedom, gone from the vocabulary. Can you even think it if you don't have the word?
Which brings us to doublethink.
Ah.
Maybe the creepiest idea of all.
Holding two completely opposite beliefs at the same time and accepting both.
It's how people swallow the party's contradictions, isn't it? Like war is peace. You just believe it.
Willful ignorance, almost. Convincing yourself, then forgetting you did it. It's mind-bending just trying to explain it.
And this control seeps into everything, even families. The junior spies.
Oh, yeah. Kids spying on their parents. reporting them.
The Parsons kids are terrifying. They turn in their own father for muttering "down with Big Brother" in his sleep.
Loyalty to the party trumps family. It shows how effective that indoctrination is.
And relationships, sex. The party's got its fingers in that too. The Junior Anti-Sex League.
Discouraging desire because love and loyalty between people could compete with loyalty to Big Brother.
Then you've got the proles. The working class, most of the population.
And the party basically ignores them, right? Keeps them poor, uneducated, distracted by little things like the lottery.
Yeah, they think the proles are too dumb to be a threat. No need for heavy indoctrination.
What Winston? He sees them differently. He thinks if there is hope, it lies in the proles.
That contrast is key. The party dismisses them. Winston pins his hopes on them.
And meanwhile, those party slogans are just everywhere. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.
On buildings, on coins, constant reinforcement, you can't escape it.
So in this suffocating world, what does Winston do? He writes in a diary.
A tiny act, but huge for him. Trying to connect with truth, with the past, just asserting his own mind.
And then there's O'Brien, such a complex figure.
Yeah? Seems intelligent, maybe even someone Winston could connect with.
But he's inner party, deeply part of the system he seems to understand so well. It's intriguing.
Okay, so that sets the stage for control. But what about resistance and how the party crushes it? Part 2.
Right. A key moment for Winston is finding that photograph. Jones, Aronson, and Rutherford.
The purged party members. The photo proves they were in Oceania when the party claimed they were betraying the country elsewhere.
Exactly. Concrete proof the party lied. Falsified history. It's huge for Winston.
It really fuels his desire for truth. His small rebellions makes it feel less pointless.
But ultimately, it is doomed. He gets caught, dragged to the Ministry of Love.
Middle of again. And the description of what happens there, it's brutal.
It's systematic. Torture, yes, but also intense psychological manipulation.
Yeah.
Breaking his will completely, forcing confessions.
And the goal isn't just punishment, is it? It's not just to make him obey.
No, it's much more sinister. They want to change his thoughts, to make him genuinely love Big Brother, to erase the old Winston.
They want to own his mind completely.
And O'Brien spells it out, doesn't he? The party's motivation, no pretense of the greater good.
None at all. He says, the object of power is power. Full stop.
Yeah. The object of persecution is persecution. The object of torture is torture. Chillingly honest. Power for its own sake.
No ideology beyond pure domination.
And the ultimate goal, Crime Stop.
That instinctive self-censorship. Stopping a dangerous thought before it even fully forms.
Making dissent not just impossible, but unthinkable. The party wins when people police their own minds.
Okay, so that's the grim picture in 1984. Let's shift gears now to Alexander Merrow's Prey World. A different flavor of dystopia.
Yeah, more contemporary, more tech-focused. We're in a future Central Europe under a one-world government.
Which apparently came to power after liquidating politically incorrect people.
Nice. And they have this powerful secret service, the GSA. Sounds familiar, right?
A bit, yeah. And we follow Frank Kohlhaas, this former factory worker in Berlin. He's clearly frustrated.
And a small incident at work leads to this automated trial. No judge, no jury.
Just algorithms. Calculating his probability of being subversive.
Pretty much. Based on stats, he gets condemned to a re-education center called Big Eye. It really makes you think about AI injustice, doesn't it?
It does. Removing the human element.
Mm.
Scary. So, Big Eye, what's that like?
Sounds terrifying. He's put in a hollow cell. It's designed for mental reprogramming.
Like virtual reality brainwashing.
Essentially, yeah. Trying to erase individuality, enforce loyalty to the one world, even breaking family bonds.
But, like in 1984, resistance exists. The Red Moon Organization.
Right. Led by Alf Bomber, they bust Frank out during transport.
And Frank, he doesn't react passively, does he?
No, he explodes. Violent reaction against the police shows the anger simmering under the surface.
So the rebels have a base in Lithuania where surveillance isn't quite as tight.
And Frank meets the leader, Thorsten Weldon, and there's immediate tension.
How so?
Frank wants action, like now, violent revolution. But Weldon and the established group are more cautious, more strategic.
Interesting dynamic. So Frank and Alf cook up their own plan.
Yeah, a big one. Assassinate Governor Wexler during this huge parade in Paris, the Festival of the New World.
Oh.
Using the sewer system to get close and plant bombs.
Classic resistance tactic.
Layer.
They even scout the sewers, right?
Yeah.
Run into a homeless person down there.
Yeah, it adds this layer showing different levels of society, even under this total control.
And the plan. It works.
It does. Wexler is killed. Chaos in Paris.
What happens next?
Shock then, celebrations, people actually take to the streets, anti-government protests erupt.
Wow. So a spark.
For a moment, but the security forces come down hard, violent suppression.
So the regime holds. What's the view from the top, the world president?
Him and his advisor, Morris, they're shown in New York, totally ruthless. Their response is basically more fear, crush dissent, maintain control at all costs.
And information control is key here too, globally.
Definitely. There's propaganda against Japan, which is fighting for independence. Same playbook as 1984, really.
And even kids shows. The Little Whisperer.
Yep. Indoctrination starts early, get 'em young.
And the series continues with Frank and Elf helping Japan.
Right. The fight goes global. It's an ongoing struggle against this new world order.
Okay, so we've got these two detailed worlds. Let's pull back and compare. What are the big parallels in how control works?
Well, the core methods are strikingly similar, aren't they? Surveillance is huge in both. Propaganda is constant.
Manipulating history, controlling information.
Absolutely. Suppressing any kind of dissent, using fear as the main tool. It's all there in both 1984 and Prey World.
But Prey World feels technologically updated.
For sure. You've got scan chips for tracking, those automated trials we talked about, the hollow cells for reprogramming. It's like Orwell's ideas on steroids, using near-future tech.
The methods evolve, but the goal is the same.
Pretty much. But the resistance feels different, too.
How so?
Winston's struggle is so internal, so solitary. He's trying to keep his own mind alive. Frank, though?
He's out there, fighting, part of a group, using violence.
Exactly. It's external, organized action versus internal preservation.
And what about hope? Does one offer more than the other?
1984 is famously bleak, right? Winston is broken. He loves Big Brother in the end. It's devastating.
Yeah, not much light there.
Prey World, while still incredibly dark and oppressive, does show this active, ongoing, organized fight. Maybe a glimmer of hope that resistance can continue even if the odds are terrible.
So pulling it all together, what are the big takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, I think both Orwell and Marrow really force us to think about how fragile freedom and individual thought can be when power becomes absolute. They show in really different ways how control can occupy psychologically, technologically, through brute force.
And they also show that urge to resist, right? That human desire for freedom, it persists, even in the darkest scenarios.
Exactly. Even when it seems hopeless, someone tries to write in a diary, someone plans an escape, someone fights back.
Which kind of leads to the final thought, maybe for you listening. When you look at these fictional systems of control, do you see echoes? What subtle, or maybe not so subtle, forms of control might operate in our world today?
And following from that, how do we protect our own thinking? How do we resist information overload, manipulation, and keep hold of those, as Orwell put it, few cubic centimeters inside our skull?
Yeah. Something important to think about, maybe even worth going back to these books with that question in mind.
You've just glimpsed the machinery of control and how easily it can consume a society. But if you walk away now, silent and unprepared, you become complicit. In an age of fake news and hidden agendas, ignorance is the greatest vulnerability. Subscribe now to fortify your mind with the unvarnished truths we uncover each week. Smash that like button if you refuse to be manipulated. And explore the links below for our guide to modern-day thought crime prevention. Exclusive resources, reserved for our community of vigilant thinkers. Next, Angelina and I will dissect how 1984's warnings map onto today's world, and what you can do, moment by moment, to guard your inner freedom. But before that, prepare yourself for the knowledge check. 5 incisive questions that will prove whether you've internalized these essential lessons. This is your last line of defense. Answer honestly. Your mental sovereignty depends on it. Next steps. Activate your defense. Take the challenge now. 5 critical questions. 1 bulletproof mindset. Comment your score below. Top scorers earn VIP access to our Modern Thought Crime Toolkit next week. Don't just consume, resist, ascend.